the meeting. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you, members. Then if I just read through our usual notices. I'd like to remind you that this council meeting is being broadcast live over the internet, so we are all on camera. Please be aware you may be visible on screen when people around you are speaking, and please remember to speak clearly into your microphones. This meeting is available to view online now and in the future, whenever and wherever people wish to view it. Therefore, there is no need for any other filming of the meeting to take place. We welcome the use of the Welsh language at meetings, but I have had no requests for people to speak Welsh today, so this meeting will be conducted in English only. I'd like to welcome everybody attending and anybody watching the meeting via the webcast, but can I ask that all mobile phones and other noisy devices be put onto silent. If there is an emergency alarm, follow the green signs on the doors and go down to the ground floor of the Civic car park. If we have any motions or amendments during the meeting, I will need them to be clear before we go to the vote. Okay, so if we start agenda item 1, attendance. The attendance register will be going around the room. Please can all members sign it and send it on. Item 2, apologies for absence. Dominic Redmond, have we had any apologies, please?
Apologies have been received from Councillor Richard Clark, Lenny Constance and Councillor Cathy Evans.
Members, are there any other apologies anyone knows of? Okay then, we go on to item 3, declarations of interest. Delyth Harris, Monitoring Officer, do you have any advice for members, please?
Thank you, Chair. I'm not aware of any interest that need to be declared. Thank you.
Members, do you have any interests to declare of your own? If any come up during the meeting, can you please make sure they're also written on the register? Okay, agenda item 4 then, these are the minutes of the last meeting on the 4th of December. Looking at page 3 of the agenda. Can somebody move that the minutes are correct? Yep, are we all agreed? Thank you, members. Agenda item 5, update on actions even. Members, the updates on what has been done to implement our previous decisions start on page 17 of the agenda. Are there any comments or questions on them? Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. As in reference, page 16, a decision, and I requested information about supported tourism. I spoke to the Chief Executive's PA this morning, and she assures me that that is being dealt with. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, then, is everybody happy to note those updates? Yeah, thank you, members, they're noted. We move on to agenda item 6, is receipt of petitions. We have no petitions today, so agenda item 7 is public question time. Again, no public questions. No. Go forward on the webcast. Agenda item 8, announcements. Leader, do you have any announcements, please?
Yes, please. Very quickly. First, on rough sleepers, I appreciate the concern of councillors and residents for people sleeping rough, especially in times like this of cold weather. If anyone sees anyone who needs assistance, please contact the council and let us know where they are so we can coordinate a response. We work with a range of organisations to support people and are always looking at how we can improve what we do. You can inform us over the phone on 01495 762200 or via the StreetLink website or app. If you would like to offer greater help, please contact us for further information about how you can assist. There may be a variety of reasons why someone is sleeping rough, and we ask that people's privacy is respected. Rough sleepers are vulnerable individuals, and posting about their whereabouts or videoing them exposes them to greater risk, so we kindly ask if people would avoid doing so. Secondly, on Pontypool Park, I'd like to thank all councillors from across the Chamber and officers who have supported our efforts to find a way forward in Pontypool Park. The consultation, I'm pleased to say, is open, and I'd encourage residents and anyone else interested in the park to put their views forward. You will also have seen the good news this month that that Torvine has issued a Social Care Digital Innovation Challenge. This is to technology companies who have been invited to develop solutions to help transform adult care services after we successfully secured £1.25 million from a government digital innovation fund. We've received the money from the GovTech Catalyst Fund scheme to help applicants develop innovative solutions, and would encourage anyone interested in this to get in contact with us.
Thank you, Leader. Alison Ward is ill today, so I'm going to ask Dave Conway, do you have any announcements?
No announcements, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Agenda item 9, you've got a presentation from the Youth Forum, so I'm going to ask Lynn Robinson to start the presentation. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to introduce some of the young people. Savannah Miller is Year 9, and she's Assistant Chair, Vice Chair of our Youth Forum. Wayne Thomas, Year 7, he is the Chair of Lower School from Year 7 to Year 9. Charlie Jones, the chair of the Youth Forum for Upper School, Year 10 and 11, and Carly Thomas, who was our first Gypsy Traveller to go on to sixth form education, and she gained 10 A to C's, and she's actually doing her A-levels. So we'd like you to, we're really, really proud of our project, and actually that is just a small part of the project, because all the young people, Gypsy and Travellers, are fully embedded in mainstream school in Westmont, and I know we've got some young people in Crossy Killiog. So that's additional too. That's to make sure the young people are engaged and actually experiencing lots of different experiences they wouldn't normally get. So if you'd like to ask some questions and see if they can, they're not as shy as this normally. So we'll see if anybody would like to ask some questions, we'll see if you can answer them.
Thank you very much. Before we start, I just want to say I visited last year as men. It was absolutely amazing, the work you're doing. And I think you gave me a little star pillow for my little girl. And I haven't been able to part from it yet. She sleeps with it every night because it's that special. So thank you very much. We'll start with Sue then.
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations, Charlie. We spoke earlier on. I'm aware of your achievements, of what you're doing in school. I'm so proud having you all as family members. Thank you for doing our Gypsy Traveller community great.
Janet?
Just to congratulate you. I'm a member of the Northern Branch of British Legion, and we're so proud of all you do at every remembrance. You're doing highly commended.
Rose?
Thanks very much. I've watched this project grow for over a number of years. Lynn used to work at Fairwood High School for a number of years, and she shared her experience down there. And it was a pleasure to watch this process grow at Westmont School, because you've taken it from really right at the bottom where there was no attainment from the Gypsy and Traveller families because of the nature of their environment and the area that they actually come from and what have you. But to see a Gypsy and Traveller child actually achieve sixth form education is absolutely fantastic, and congratulations. Congratulations to you all for actually taking part in the Youth Forum, because it's a major issue that we need to listen to children and young people's voices. And we need to listen to children and young people's voices from all over the borough. So well done, congratulations, and good luck with the rest of the project.
Thank you, Rose. Mandy?
Yeah, I'd just like to say well done to all of you. I visited up there a couple of years ago on the opening of the beauty salon, which is absolutely fantastic. I think we've all bought poppies off you, because we've got mine here. But it's really pleasing to hear, especially the sixth form Carly and Chantal, that your aspirations, wanting to go forward to become primary school teachers and a lawyer. I mean, your aspirations and goals are there, and I just really want to say well done. And thank you, Lynn, for your dedication and enthusiasm, because it obviously rubs off on all the children up there. But I just want to know, is there anything you'd like to say, what you enjoy at your school?
I enjoy playing rugby and playing basketball with my friends.
And I enjoy taking part in all the projects. Like we're involved in the Youth Forum, we take part in loads of projects with Lynn, which she organises.
I enjoy the fact that I can come back any time and see Lynn or anyone else if I got any problems or if I need help with my work whilst I'm in sixth form.
I enjoy the fact that we have support with our future and our aspirations in life.
They speak for themselves, really. Yeah, we're very, very proud. As Rose said, about 11 years ago when I first came to the project, I couldn't believe it actually. There was no one gaining any kind of formal qualification, but now everybody leaves with at least 5 GCSEs, but we just want the young people to be the best they can be. They're not all going to gain 10 A to C's and go on to sixth form, but as long as they can gain some qualifications, that gives our young people a choice. So if they want to go on, particularly the boys, we're still working hard with the boys, if they want to go on to the gardening or, scrap metal. They always got their qualifications to fall back on. But our Wayne is going to be the next Gypsy Traveller International, so, you know, have good luck with him now. You'll be asking him for his autograph in a couple of years' time. But thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to show our film and allow us to come here today. We really appreciate it. Thank you. And it's a shame Alison wasn't here, because she invited us. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so agenda item 10 then is page 19. Go forward. Is the Council Tax Reduction Scheme. Can I ask Nigel Aurelius, Assistant Chief Executive Officer? It's Richard Davis to present the report for us. Where have you gone?
Okay. Good morning, members. This is just a routine report approval. The Council is required by Welsh Government to consider and approve the Council tax reduction policy each year by January 31st. This report is confirmation of our existing policy with local discretions, and the local discretions are outlined in paragraph 5.2. And it's as simple as that. The Welsh Government annually require us to produce this report and seek our approval for it. Any questions?
Thank you. Any members, any questions? Comments? Very short one. Okay, thank you then. So the recommendations are on page 21 of the agenda. Can somebody move it for me? Move. Are we all in favour? Anyone against? Any abstentions? Thank you, members. Those recommendations are agreed. So if we move on to agenda item 11, motions on notice. So there's no motions, so we'll move on to the next item, which is item 12, member question time. The first question is from Councillor O'Connell, so would you like to start?
Thank you, Chair. I think I picked the right meeting to ask three questions. Excuse me if I face the board while I read them. I haven't got them in front of me. Can the leader confirm what personnel changes have been made following the special measures classification at Cwmbran High School, and offer an apology to the parents of children that have been let down by the authority following the closures of both Llantarn and Fairwater schools?
Okay. Parents and pupils at Cwmbran High School can have my assurance that as a council we will do everything in our power to assist and support the school in making improvements. Personnel issues in schools are the direct responsibility of the head teacher and governing body. While it's not directly within the council's remit to direct personnel changes, should they be needed, we are working very closely with the school's leadership to make the rapid progress needed. As you know, the Educational Authority have already exercised the use of statutory powers in the school by appointing additional governors and nominating one of those as chair. We are keeping the situation in the school under close review and will take any action open to us which we believe is needed to deliver progress. None of us in this chamber are happy or content with any of our schools being in difficulty, and I want to reassure every pupil and their families that we are determined to see improvements over the coming year and beyond.
Thank you. Councillor O'Connell, do you have a supplementary?
I do. Thank you. I appreciate that response, and I'm pleased to hear that everybody in this chamber shares the sentiments of the parents of the school in not being happy at the situation. I see this as being a failure of leadership from, firstly, the head teacher in allowing a culture to develop within the school, an acceptance of failure. And I'm aware that the executive member for education has been asked on numerous occasions to step down, and to his credit, he remains. He's been covered by what some call the Griffithstown Mafia in allowing performance to recruit.
Sorry, Councillor O'Connell, sorry to cut in. There's got to be framed as a question.
Oh. So, well, the question is, Given the lack of performance management from yourself, when do you intend to institute a culture whereby performance is recognised and action taken where that performance doesn't meet an adequate standard?
Okay, as the head of the Griffithstown Mafia, Don Corleone, whatever you want to call me, I can assure you that I do performance manage this situation. I believe that the executive member is doing the right things to take the department forward, along with the Chief Education Officer. If I didn't think so, I would take action. But I believe that, in a way, I'll take the common ground of the question and say, yes, we're determined to seek improvements because we're not satisfied with the situation as it is now.
Thank you. Then, if we move on to the second question.
Can the leader confirm what other changes have been made at the school and what resources have been made available to improve the situation?
The school will continue to be supported with 25 Challenge Advisor Days and in addition 25 days from EAS Literacy, Numeracy and Science teams. Since being placed into Special Measures category, the school, in particular the head and senior leaders, have been in receipt of additional support from the head and senior staff from Cantonian High School and support from King Henry VIII School as well. Additional EAS HR business partner support is provided to support the actions within the recommendations with regard to staffing. The local authority will also provide additional resources and guidance regarding behaviour. The school is completing its post-inspection action plan, and the EAS and local authority will continue to provide support as requested by the school or where we deem it is required.
Okay, and a supplementary on that one?
Thank you, Chair. Can you confirm if the lessons learned at Cumbrian High School have been applied to other schools in the area? And if they haven't, when they will be?
I can confirm that we always learn the lessons, and that works both ways. I would hope we're learning the lessons of where we've turned around schools previously that have been in a difficult position in Cumbrian High, and similarly we will learn the lessons from Cumbrian High for all, and I'm sure that the Education Department will be more than happy to report back to members either in this forum or via a seminar about what they are doing to learn those lessons. But that's a valid point, because we do need to learn from what goes wrong and to learn hopefully what goes right, so we can transfer that into other situations too.
Okay, question 3.
Last question, thankfully. Can the leader confirm why he chose to add his name to a letter to the First Minister calling for a losers vote on the question of Brexit, when by an overwhelming majority the people of Torfaen voted to leave the EU in June 2016? Is he with the people of Torfaen, or like our Assembly member, against them?
I added my name because I'm an honest person and I'm deeply concerned about the consequences of Brexit for our local economy and for people's jobs. As someone who works hard to try and boost employment in our area, I find warnings from companies like Jaguar Land Rover and Airbus very troubling, especially on top of independent economic forecasts. I understand that Councillor O'Connell may not share my point of view. Others may believe that economic damage is a price worth paying for Brexit. I respect the different views, but we all have to debate this issue from an honest perspective, and that is mine. If I was dishonest or hid my concerns to make my own life easier, that would be poor leadership indeed. I speak with and listen to many local people about the issue of Brexit. They give me a wide range of views, both those who voted leave and those who voted remain. I respect those views and think they are rather poorly represented by those with deep-seated opinions on both sides of this issue who want to claim they speak for overwhelming majorities, when the truth of people's views is far more nuanced. Most of the people I speak to have far less strident views and just want to get on with their lives. I can assure those people that I am doing my best on behalf of this council to ensure that whatever happens, we are as prepared as a council as possible to keep services running and to protect our communities. Lastly, I hope we can debate this matter in a respectful and good-natured way, both in this chamber and beyond. I am dismayed that parts of our society don't seem to learn the lessons from the death of Joe Cox less than 3 years ago. Seeing MPs like Anna Soubry abused is wrong, whatever their views on this issue. For example, I might disagree with Jacob Rees-Mogg, but he doesn't deserve to be threatened either. Hopefully we can all agree here that debate is welcome, but that abuse, intimidation and inflammatory language have no place in our politics and should be condemned.
Got a supplementary?
I do. Can you confirm if you had the authorisation of this council or of your own party to send that letter before you sent it in?
I signed that letter as an individual. I don't require the permission of the council or the group to do that. I signed it as an individual. If it was misrepresented in any other way, then the people misrepresenting that didn't have my permission to do so.
Okay, question 4 then, Councillor Bevan.
Thank you, Chair. Forgive me while I read it from the board, please. This is for the exec member for the environment. Please can you let council know how many reported instances of fly tipping there have been in the last 12 months?
Thank you for your question. As part of the Council's corporate plan priorities, we are committed to a cleaner and greener Torfaen, and we are grateful to our residents who assist us in achieving this priority, and will continue to work with our residents and other stakeholders on this issue. In 2017 and 2018, that's the last year for which we have full data at present, there were 691 instances of fly tipping on council land. For the first 6 months of this year, we've received 499 instances of fly tipping on council land. This is a worrying indicator as it obviously shows an overall increase for the first 6 months, for no apparent reason. We make it easy for residents to dispose of their waste, and there have been no changes to policy to encourage this kind of behaviour either. I do not believe any form of fly tipping is justified. It's an environmental blight and affects how people perceive this area. It also puts a shadow over our council as people blame us. But we are not the ones doing it. It's antisocial, and we need to continue our efforts to deter this activity.
Councillor Bevan, do you have a supplementary question?
Yes, Chair, I do. Thank you. I thank the exec member for that comprehensive answer. My supplementary question is, please can the exec member advise council how many prosecutions have been brought against the offenders for fly tipping, and how many of those prosecutions have been successful? Again, covering the same period. If it was going to be for the last 12 months, but the most up-to-date information she's got will suffice. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor, for your supplementary. I think that it's really important that I first state that it very much depends on the evidence. If the evidence isn't there, then a prosecution can't take place. And for the first 6 months of this year, we have taken enforcement action against 8.4% of the reported instances, which equates to 41 instances. This is higher than the overall percentage for 2017-18, which was 6%. Our crews are being more vigilant on looking for evidence and taking it forward, but we can only take action, as I said, where there is evidence of where waste has come from. We also invested in CCTV hotspot locations, and that's currently being monitored for its effectiveness.
Question 5 then, from Councillor Bevan.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. This is being directed to the leader. Please can you let council know what are the details of the Welsh Government settlement for the next financial year, and what, if any, shortfall does this leave?
Thank you, Councillor Bevan. The details of the financial change facing this council have been outlined to members in recent scrutiny report, last week's Cabinet report, and in previous budget updates, including members' seminars. The gap we faced in Torfaen at the start of the process this year was around 8.5 million. That's the difference between our initial settlement forecast and the forecast from officers of what would be needed to run services next year. Subsequently, our lobbying on behalf of local government, together with other funding assumptions and efforts to find efficiencies, have helped close that gap, meaning that 3.5 million of service mitigations were proposed to scrutiny earlier this month, which included efficiencies. I recognise this involves difficult decisions for councillors as we enter the 9th year of austerity, with our budgets cut by almost a quarter in real terms. I would therefore again call for an end to the austerity which threatens the future of vital local services.
Okay, Councillor Bevan, do you have a supplementary?
Yes, thank you, Chair, I do. The reason why I was asking this, I attended the cross-cutting seminar on this, as indeed I know a lot of members did, and there wasn't a lot of information regarding the funding settlement given out and what the shortfall was. What we were presented with was the 3.5 million service mitigations that the leader has just alluded to. So I wanted some further information surrounding the settlement. I had been aware that Torfaen actually did rather better than some other Welsh local authorities this year. We didn't finish towards the bottom of the league table from the Welsh Government. We finished, actually, I believe, in second place. And I was wondering, can the leader further advise council if he continues to go ahead with a further increase in the levels of council tax the next year at the rate of about 3.9%, which historically has been the case? And if so, why?
Okay, the scrutiny report largely focused on the mitigations because that's what the scrutiny report's purpose was, to allow members to look through the mitigations and suggest alternatives or areas that they weren't satisfied about. That's why the scrutiny report focused on that. I'm happy to provide more sort of, information on the details of the financial details of the settlement. I can provide that to email and I'll copy members in. Torfaen did do better than average on the settlement this year. The formula for once came out in our favour, which I'd love to think was because of something I did, but it's the way the formula works. Sometimes we fall below the line, sometimes we gain from the way the formula distributes the money. However, that still leaves us a long way short of a real terms flat settlement because of the pressure in areas like social care, because of general inflation, and because of pay pressures, especially this year. So that still leaves a large gap for us to fill. Obviously, filling that gap can only be done through either bringing more income in or cutting the spending on services, and that's the balance that we have to try and strike as a council, and we'll bring forward final proposals following the scrutiny process to Cabinet and then Council, I believe at the beginning of March, isn't it? 5th of March, I believe, so that you'll have more of an opportunity to debate those points then.
I'd like to thank the leader for his answer, and if I can take him up on his offer of sending the email out to members with additional information regarding the financial details. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, members. Agenda item 13 then is just the date of the next meeting. So next meeting will be Tuesday the 5th of March at 10 a.m. in the Council Chamber. That's the end of the meeting. Thank you everybody for your attendance and contributions.
Hands up.